If you're struggling to find new leads for your AI agency or wasting thousands of dollars buying leads, maybe you have no idea at all how to actually make money with AI, but you do recognize the massive opportunity that is right in front of you with regards to AI. So in this video, I'll show you how to pull in unlimited leads for free in any niche and turn them into paying customers, the thing that nobody else actually shows. And what I will be showing you is the exact system I have developed and used to grow my AI automation agency, Gym Members Now, to do over $20 million in sales. So what you're gonna get is my exact cold call playbook. It's booked me over 3,000 appointments for my agency. I'll even play a live recording of a cold call that turned into a sale. So you can just copy me and you know that this is actually based off what's working right now in the market. I'll also be showing you the step-by-step sales process that my team and I have used and actively used to close over 1,800 local business owners on AI automation services. You can literally steal my process, which has been dialed in after years to turn skeptical business owners into paying customers who pay over $15,000 per year. And I'll also show you a brand new AI service stack that almost no one else sells, one that helped me earn more than $6 million in profit over the last 4 years and added 6 new clients to my agency just last week. This way you have a massive edge based on what is currently working that is not yet being exploited, but will be very, very shortly by people that I'm helping. So why am I giving this away? My AI automation agency, Gym Members Now, was recently valued at $5.4 million. If I can help 3 to 4 other driven entrepreneurs copy my system and then build it to make millions in profit per year like my agency, we can bundle our companies together and sell for a much higher multiple down the road, because that is my ultimate goal and what I'm looking to do in the next coming years. So if you want to cash in on AI before the window closes, stick around and let's get started. So first things first, like I said, I was going to show you how to generate unlimited leads. I'm also going to break down the cold call process, the sales process, and the new system. But before I do that, let me show you how to get free leads. The reason why this is so incredible and so valuable is because the way you use that to generate leads was by scraping leads off Google on the internet manually. And what that meant was you'd either have to spend your own time doing it, which I used to do when I got started, or you'd have to pay people to do it, which costs thousands of dollars, which is not ideal. So now you can literally just go to ChatGPT and do this. So I just typed in, what are the biggest med spa franchises in the United States and how many locations does each have? Because I'm familiar with somebody that has an AI agency, or not an AI agency, they have an agency that does over 300K a month with med spas, and they don't provide the system that I'm going to be breaking down here in a moment. So it pulled up a lot of locations. So what I ended up doing is I just went down here and asked for them to make me an Excel sheet for ideal image locations across the United States, including their contact information. Then it asked me a couple qualifying questions just for some specifics. And then from here, this is what it gave me. It literally gave me every location as far as where they're at, their address, and who owns it, okay? Which is absolutely insane, because what this used to take was a long, long time to figure this out on your own, which is not ideal, right? But now you don't have to do that. AI will literally do it for you, which is absolutely insane, which will save you a ton of time and money to allow you to actually dive into this thing, right? Because if you want to make money with AI, it's gonna take some work. But now it's never been easier than it is now, right? When I got started, I used to have to do this stuff on my own, and then we'd have to pay people, which is not ideal. But now it is so much easier. It's never been this easy to make money in the world. You just have to put some work in and not be lazy, right? And you have to have a proven process that's based off what actually works, because a lot of people that are making videos about this stuff don't actually do it. They don't actually have a website you can go to, or a local business owner could go to, or a business owner could go to and submit their information and talk with them about the services that they're selling, right? A lot of these people don't actually do this stuff. But this is absolutely insane. So all you have to do is that, and then you get all these leads. Now, how do you turn them into customers? what you're gonna do is cold call them, right? This is not easy, right? But I have the proven process that you can copy and paste if you're willing to put some work in and actually take some swings, okay? I have people on my team that make over 400 cold calls a day, right? So easier said than done, but we've already gone through all the trial and error of making hundreds of thousands of calls to dial in the script that I'm about to give you in this video so that you can just take it and use it as long as you're willing to put some work in, okay? So from here, what I'm going to show you is the system first, because this will roll into everything else. So the first part of this system of services that I sell, and that I'd highly recommend you sell because no one else is providing it, is re-engagement campaigns leveraging AI. So all we're doing here is we're following up with a database of leads for a business to get them appointments coming back through the door. The reason why this is so valuable is because of a couple things. First, a lot of business owners don't do a good job reaching back out to their leads. They probably have a process, but it doesn't get people back in. It's a very sloppy, lazy process, which I would imagine you've probably experienced with some businesses before, where they just send you a text that's so impersonal, it's such a salesy message, and you just reply stop and you opt out. Or they send you emails that you never check, or you just open them, throw them into the trash, right? So what we're doing here is we're doing it completely counter to the way they do it, which actually gets people to respond and then come in. Okay, so that is what we're doing here. The other reason why this is so valuable is because a ton of people in the market right now, what they're trying to sell these business owners, what they're trying to sell these med spas is paid advertising. Okay, so they're trying to sell them paid advertising, yet that business has thousands of leads in their database that haven't been properly worked. So they have the ability, if someone can come in to properly work them, to generate them appointments without spending money on marketing. So everyone else is screaming, run paid ads, give me $3,000, $1,500 to me, $1,500 for paid ads, where I come in and say, no, it's actually not smart for you to run paid ads because you have a ton of opportunity in your database that's not been fully capitalized on. And then what we can do from there is we can take the money you generate from that and then invest it into marketing after we've fully squeezed the juice out of the database, right? So that's much more compelling, and it doesn't stop there. The next thing is the AI reviews and referral service. So what we're doing here is we're reaching out to their customers, asking them for reviews, and then we're following up with people that leave reviews to generate referrals from their friends and family. Okay, so this is also extremely important because a lot of businesses do not have a good process to generate reviews. They do not reach out to people that leave them reviews to bring in friends and family. They don't even do that. And in addition to that, they don't respond to the people that leave them reviews. So they have tons of reviews that have not been responded to. They have tons of customers they haven't even asked for reviews from. And then they have tons of people that have left reviews that they haven't asked to bring in friends and family. Okay, so we've dialed in this system leveraging AI to do this at a very high level, which again is very, very compelling and beneficial for a business owner when most people are going to them saying, run paid ads, run paid ads. I'm going to them and saying, no, actually, we need to get you more reviews, which is going to allow you to rank higher organically on Google, so that when people do see your ads and they look you up on Google, you're going to rank higher, and there's going to be more social proof, which in turn will convert that traffic at a higher rate and allow you to actually make more money on the ad spend you're spending. And then in addition to that, we're going to generate you free leads after people leave reviews by following up with them, to then give them an incentive and their friends and family an incentive to come in. In addition to that, we're going to re-engage your database of leads to drive them through the door without spending any money on marketing. And then those that do come through the door, we're going to re-engage them to generate reviews and referrals without spending a single dime on advertising, right? And then we'll get to the advertising after we've done that and collected capital that we can then reinvest into the system of paid advertising. That way you're starting off not at a loss, but at a profit, right? So think about that compared to the whole run paid ads, right? I've really figured this out, guys. So if you dig this, it will help you a ton if you're trying to make money with AI. If you don't, someone else definitely will, because when I say this is not something other people are doing, it's not. People that make content about this stuff don't do it. They do not actually take the things they're telling people and put it into practice. They haven't actually figured out what it takes to communicate what they built and get someone to actually pay for it. And then what it takes to get someone to continuously pay for it for years. Okay? I have. And this is what it is. I'm telling you, you take this and run with it, you'll be successful. From here, what we're doing is we're doing lead nurturing from the leads that come from their website. So when people talk about a chatbot or AI, nurture leads, blah, 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 right? That's what we're doing here in alignment with these other things. And then from there, we're running paid ads where we're nurturing those leads that come in. In addition to that, we're teaching the customer how to actually sell the people we bring through the door. Because again, let's say you're providing all 4 of these services and I am providing all 5 of these, and I'm teaching the customer from an expert that owns and operates med spas, someone on my team, right, that owns and operates med spas, that's teaching med spas, let's say, for example, how to actually sell the people we're bringing in through these things here, and then also how to run their business. They're going to get a much greater return from the service we're providing to them rather than you, because we're providing a more end-to-end solution and we're hitting that final piece, really the second to last final piece, which is converting the people you bring through the door. The final piece is retaining the people you bring through the door, maximizing their LTV, and then getting them to bring customers or friends through the door, or referrals through the door, which we're also hitting on. But now that we're doing this, we have a massive edge, and you can also leverage AI a lot to help when it comes to this stuff, even if you're not an expert in the space. So this is very important as well. In addition to that, we have an AI receptionist, as I like to call it, that will answer the phone when people call that the staff can't answer. The reason why this is very valuable is because what we found when we connect this to our clients' businesses is that they miss between 50 to 80% of the calls that come in. So what that means is they're getting lots of calls every single month from potential new customers that they are not answering. And what that really looks like is, let's say, for example, a business has 100 calls in a month, which they do. We've had customers that have had a lot more than that from potential new customers. These aren't from active customers. These are from people inquiring about becoming a customer, right? If a business has that many calls and then they miss 50 to 80%, that means they're missing out on potentially thousands of dollars, right? So now with our system, 100% of those calls get answered. And this system has booked people in at 4 o'clock in the morning without the customer having to lift a single finger, without me having to lift a single finger, without my team having to lift a single finger or do anything, right? It just works because it's AI. It's pretty incredible. But now, as you can see, right, this whole system that I'm providing is extremely effective, and more important than it just being effective, it stacks on itself. The reason why it's built in this way, the reason why this is actually a thing, is because this is what I figured out gets people to go, wow, I've never heard anyone else present a solution like that. It makes complete sense. Why have other people not been doing that? Okay, that's why this exists. It's because it's what works. It's not because it's what I thought sounded cool or what's fancy. It's because it's what local business owners actually buy right now based off what they've been getting bombarded with from everyone else. And then a second piece of that, not only does it work to convince them to give you a chance to pay you money, but it also works in reality to give them the results they are expecting in exchange for what they're paying. Okay, because if it wasn't, I wouldn't have been able to do over $1 million in profit for 4 years straight with my agency. And the other piece to that is this. When I started my agency, I had no prior experience in marketing, in sales, in tech. I also had no connections at all. I didn't know any gym owners, any studio owners. That's the space I penetrate at all. I did it all through grit and hard work. Okay, so now I'm giving you the fruits of my labor so that you can just take it and really apply it, okay? Because again, going back to it, I've seen a lot of people's stuff. I've spoken to a lot of people now that are consuming information about how to make money with AI. And I'm going to tell you right now, just about 100% of it is bullshit, okay? If you're consuming content from someone that has a big social media following that is talking about how they make money with AI, and they made all their money with AI through their YouTube channel, tell me if you think that's gonna work for you. Do you have a massive YouTube channel? If you look at my YouTube channel, you can see that I've only had it for a couple months. 100% of my clients for my AI agency, Gym Members Now, have come through cold calling, through paid advertising, and through referrals. Okay, none of them have come from content, right? So if you're listening to somebody that's making content that's getting lots of views, they're not gonna really be able to help you. They might be able to help you with some technical stuff, but they don't actually know what it takes to turn a cold prospect, a skeptical prospect, into a sale that they keep paying you month over month for, okay? Now from here, what I'm gonna break down for you is the cold call process.
Hey, this is Joshua with Gym Members Now. How's it going today?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. You're doing all right. Thank you for asking. So, because Gym Members Now is an AI-based gym optimization company that owns 127 gyms. Now, we ran some test ads here and found that there's a strong demand for your services if you leverage our new GPT-4 plugin. So, 30-minute window to speak with our founders on Friday, or would Thursday work better for you to speak on a Zoom call?
Hold on 1 second. Let me finish this up so I can get out of this store so I can hear what you're saying to me. For sure. Would I have 30 minutes to do? Would I have how long?
Yeah, it's going to be a 15 to 30-minute Zoom call, depending on what your needs are for your club, sir. Because the test ads that we run in your area, there's some...
Yeah, but I can do a Zoom call on my phone, right?
Yeah, definitely you can, but it would be more beneficial. You can... Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. It'd be more beneficial on a computer.
Yeah, if it's on a computer, because Mackie, our founder, is going to walk you through a process on that plug-in for your club through a Zoom call on the computer. It would be best that you could see the information there. That makes sense?
Shoot me a text message and give me a place where I can set up time for a Zoom call. I'll set one up as soon as I get out of the store.
For sure. Actually, I can do that right now here if you're available here. We could do Thursday or Friday.
Hold on. Okay, you're okay. Wait, hold on. Hey, hold on a second. You're gonna have to hold on a second. Let me finish this up and I'll get out of the store. Hold on. All right, go ahead with what you're saying now.
Yeah, can you hear me now? All right, so... Right, so what's a good time for you to book our schedule a Zoom call, sir? We've got Thursday and Friday available right now.
Thursday and Friday, what time?
So for Thursday, we've got 8 a.m., 11, and 2 p.m. Central time.
I'm gonna need something around 5 o'clock Central time if it's Thursday or Friday.
The latest one that I got for Thursday here, 4 o'clock and 4:30 time works.
No, it does not work. I have clients and I'll be on the road coming home.
Saturday, let me just check it out. For Saturday, it's not available right now, but yeah, I tell you what, I can talk to Mackie and try to see if he can open up his 5 o'clock and schedule you for a call then. Would that work?
Yeah, just let me know.
All right, Thursday at 5, and I'll just use the club's email search to book the call. Is that this.com?
Yeah, yeah, that's this. No, do .com.
Yes.
Yes. .com.
At what's the domain? MA.
.com. Yes.
And that's okay, gotcha. And but as we take this appointment really seriously, because our founder is gonna walk you through that entire process on that 5 o'clock on the call on Thursday. So need to ask you a couple of questions about your... You got like 2 to 3 minutes?
Say that again.
I need to ask you a couple of questions. So here at your club in what are you currently doing to grow your marketing? Are you running any marketing programs or any ads right now?
The corporate office does all the current advertising. They do the Facebook pages, they do the Instagram, they do all that stuff.
Okay, Facebook and Instagram. So in that case, just for the month of March, then a ballpark figure on how many leads they were able to generate for you that month?
Yeah, none.
None? Seriously? And you're paying them monthly, right? Jesus, that's really terrible.
People go on our website and they information. I may have 6 people that have information in the website, and then I'll contact them.
Okay, lead forms. So you mean say so they built out like those lead forms, but that's about it. 5 to 6 people. That's very unfortunate to hear that. But yeah, that's definitely something that we could help you out on. Also, your Google My Business for... I do see that the most recent Google review you got was 2 months ago. So do you currently have a process on how you get those from your active members?
No, they're supposed to generate all that. They're supposed to reach out to our current members, and but I haven't seen any of our current members in the past 3 or 4 months come through Medallia to show us anything. So
I am so sorry to This is actually something that we could help you out on, sir, because the more you have like on Google reviews, the more visible you are if ever people search for gyms within your area. So it's basically more visibility. But on top of that, the service that we have, we also have a referral system where we get even more additional leads if those members you have leave that Google review for your business. That makes sense?
Yep.
Perfect. In that case, then, sir, I'll make sure to contact Mackie to have you for a call on Thursday at 5. And there's going to be a 5-minute video along with that invite that I'll send over. Make sure that you watch that because help you understand a bit better about who we are, what we do, and who we work with. I'm on as well. So make sure to watch that video, sir. Okay?
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. And please definitely go back home. We'll see you on Thursday, all right?
Thank you.
All right. Take care, sir. Bye-bye.
Okay, so I'm going to go over this high level, but I've broken this all down in depth throughout this entire presentation. But I highly recommend at certain points during this video, you pause it based off what you're trying to do. I really recommend you pause it, take notes, and literally take this because this is what works. So you really understand how this works, right? Because at the end of the day, we figured it out. It's just a matter of you literally putting the work in and doing it. And if you do that, you will be successful. Okay, so the first step right here is to expect rejection and know that this is a numbers game when it comes to cold calling. Okay, you're gonna have people that tell you to go fuck yourself. You're gonna have people that tell you this sounds great, right? So expect rejection, but also expect success because this has worked for me. I can tell you right now, the best part about cold calling and why I'm going over this is because it's the cheapest and most cost-effective way to acquire business. Okay, it is extremely valuable and the return on your investment for it once you dial it in is absurd. Another piece is I've heard other people making content about this stuff saying that cold calling does not work, which is insane because again, these are people that don't actually do this stuff. They just make content about how to make money with AI and they haven't actually done it. Okay, and it's super easy to validate whether or not they have done it because they don't even have a website local business owners could go to, right? If I show you this right here, this is my Google My Business listing for my business, and you go over here and see testimonials. I have over 200 testimonials with customers talking about what their experience has been like working with my business, right? If someone doesn't have that and they're making a bunch of claims about this stuff, be very, very skeptical, okay? Because chances are it's bullshit, okay? So going back to this, just know it's a numbers game. I have people on my team that make hundreds and hundreds of calls every single day. Step 2, you want to identify the decision maker. If you are not speaking to the decision maker, you are wasting your time. Okay, I can tell you that from my experience. I've done hundreds of calls with managers from back in the day because I was convinced I could have success with the worst of the worst prospects. And so I just decided I was going to take a call with literally anyone, and I did hundreds of these calls. And I only was able to convert a couple of these people, right? So when I say I did some of these calls, I did sales calls with these people, not even the decision maker, not the owner, their team member. And I always signed up a couple of people. What I'll say with this is this. I own a business. I have 18 people that run my business. I don't do a ton of my business other than look at data and manage it. And if I have my team members handle a lot of things. Someone's never speaking to me first. They're speaking to someone on my team. That person on my team is going to vet that person, and then it's going to come to me if I consider it worth my time. So if someone were to pitch one of my team members on something and then come to me, chances are I'm probably going to say, not worth my time. You told me all the information. I now know what it costs. I now know what it is. I don't think I need it. Rather than being actually sold on it, right? So if you're going into this thinking you can close these people, you might be able to. You might be able to have some success, but I will say this. I didn't have a ton of success, and I am pretty good at sales, okay? So I would recommend you don't waste your time because it's probably more valuable than talking to somebody that doesn't have the authority and probably doesn't even have the data to properly have a conversation about what they need help with, right? A lot of these times, these people they're not aware, they're not privy to the actual back-end numbers of the business, okay? And if that's the case, then you can't properly address their situation, okay? So you want to identify the decision maker, and if you can't, you want to end it, okay? But you want to get to the decision maker, all right? From here, what you're going to want to do is proceed with the pitch. Obviously, if you get to the decision maker, if you get to the gatekeeper, what you're going to want to do is deliver a soft pitch just to try and get them interested, to them connect you with the decision maker. And then from there, you want to proceed with the pitch. If not, you want to say goodbye, have a good day. From here, what you want to do is, this is really just the framework of the cold call pitch. This is a very important piece right here. But again, this is the money. This is literally what is working right now that my business has been using for over a year. This is the hook that we've been using for over a year, and we have a system to go about optimizing the hook, the angle that we're actually pitching people on when we're cold calling. So this is battle tested. This is working right now. I literally have people on my team doing this as we speak. So do this, take this, apply it to your industry. It will work. You need to put the work in to make it work though. Okay. From here, expect rejections, right? These are the rejections you're going to get. And these are how you want to handle them right here. I'm not going to go through these, but you should stop the video right here and make sure you copy it, take a screenshot of it, do whatever so that you have it, because these are going to come up before the pitch and after the pitch. This is the only one you'll get before. These are all the ones you will get after. And this is exactly how you need to respond based off what's working right now. From here, you want to offer a choice close. So all this means is you're pretty much saying, when somebody says, yeah, that sounds good, you're saying, okay, great. Can you do tomorrow at 1 or 5? Right? Give them 2 times, and you want to book it as soon as possible, because your show rate will be impacted significantly if you don't. Step 7, you're going to want to collect their contact details, so their phone number and their email. That way you can shoot them an invite on Gmail, on Google, and then also send them a confirmation text. From here, what you're going to want to do is run a mini discovery on them so that you can give them a reason to actually show up. Okay, if you don't give them a reason to actually show up to the call, don't expect them to show up to the call. Okay, you need to actually build some value in what you're going to be selling them, because if you don't, you're just another random person that said something random that kind of caught their attention, but now they're not interested. Okay, so you need to actually build some value and get them to think a little bit differently about what they're currently doing, and how what you're going to talk to them about can change that in a positive way. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to get some business background questions. You want to get what their problem is, right? You want to diagnose what their problem is. And if you're speaking to a gatekeeper, that's why, again, they don't even really know. A lot of the times these gatekeepers have no idea what the actual issues are within the business, okay? And then you want to get clear on what their goals are. Okay, and if you do this, you're going to get a much better show rate on the appointments you schedule from cold calls. So do not skip this. Don't think once you book an appointment, you're finished. You're not. You need to do this part. If you do not do this part, people will not show up. Okay, and if you do this part properly, you will have built a ton of rapport with the person on the cold call, so that when you then jump on the sales call, you've now gone through a longer piece of the sales process. So they're a lot more likely to convert on that sales call because you've already done some heavy lifting, right? Google has shown that it takes 8 to 12 hours of someone consuming content around a business or a person prior to making a purchasing decision. So in my mind, when I'm jumping on with somebody that did a cold call, I'm thinking I have to compress that into an hour. Okay, and so if you want to compress that into an hour, you've got to be on top of your shit. And that's what I'm about to show you here in a second, which is the actual sales process. But just remember that you have to basically compress that. So if you have a great cold call where you talk with them and build a ton of value, you've now done some of that 8 to 12 hours, right? Because the next call you have, you got to get it done there, right? You want to one call close these people on the actual sales call. That's what I do. Okay, now from here, what you're going to do is just close out the appointment. So if you're setting it yourself, this is what you want to do. If you have a rep, like I do, this is what you want them to say, okay? Now from here, this is the actual sales process. So the first part of the sales process is an introduction. I don't have it here, but right, an introduction is very basic. Don't overcomplicate it. What you want to do is just build some rapport, ask them about the weather, ask them where they're located at, and then from there, just jump into this, the discovery. So the main things you're trying to do in the discovery is you're diagnosing their problems, you're tying it down with numbers, not just feelings, right? You're actually getting the logical stuff. And then from there, you're building doubt around the pillars, which are just the services you're going to be selling. So if we go back up to here, these are the pillars, right? So asking them questions around these things and what they currently do for these things to build doubt around their current process. Okay, so that's what we're doing here. And then in addition to that, we're outlining what their personal and business goals are, and then tying it back to time to get them to realize they need to do something now rather than later. Okay, so from here, what we're doing when we diagnose their problem is we're doing a numbers analysis on the specifics. So what are they spending? How many leads are they getting? How many appointments are they getting? How many shows are they getting? How many sales are they getting? How much are they collecting down per sale? In addition to that, we're assessing their financials to see what their spend looks like and what they're actually generating from it, what their growth looks like over the past month, over the past 3 months, over the past year. And what we're also looking to see is, are they making money? Are they losing money? And has that been going on for a long time? Have they been stagnant? Have they been growing over the course of time, right? Because if you get all of this stuff, you're going to get them to recognize that they're not in a situation they probably want to be in, or maybe they're not trending in the right direction. And they're going to realize that you asking these questions about their, about the pillars, that they're really going to see issues with it. Okay, so that's where we get into building the doubt. So how do you get reviews? How do you get referrals, right? This is how you want to ask these questions around the pillars. Now from here, if they've worked with an agency or they're actively in a contract with an agency, this is how you want to ask these questions. You want to ask it and then follow up with, did X agency help you with generating reviews, right? And if they say no, you want to ask them, well, do you think that's an issue? Because studies show that 70 to 80% of people reference Google prior to making a purchasing decision. And the other agency you work with ran your marketing and they didn't even talk to you about how important generating reviews was. It's kind of weird, right? Build a ton of doubt. That's how you do it if they've worked with an agency. If they haven't, you need to be asking it to them, right? How do you get reviews? Do you think it's important to generate reviews or have a process in place that can get you reviews? Right, of course it is. Now from here, you want to go over to the goals. So from here, what you're doing when it comes to getting their goals is, again, you're basically just asking business goals, personal goals. And the way you're asking it is, where do you want your business to be with regard to revenue in the next 3 to 6 months? Okay, why? Why do you want it to be there? So you want to ask, why do you want it to be there? Now from there, you want to ask, realistically, John, based off your current strategy, your current process, do you think you're going to be able to get there the next 3 to 6 months? And chances are, if you ran a great discovery, they're not, right? And then if they say, yeah, I do think I'm going to be there, ask why. Explain that to me, right? So now they're going to have to justify it, which may not make sense based off what they said before, and then they'll realize no. And you want to ask the same line of questionings for their personal, right? How much money do you want to make? Not just your business, how much money do you want to make? And then from there, what you want to get clear on is when they want to make it so that they know it's something they need to do now, right? So that's what you want to be asking is when, right? When do you want to be there? What about the next 30 to 60 days? Because that will get them to say now. Now from here, you want to transition into the pitch where you're teeing yourself up for success. And basically what we're doing here is we're letting them know that you heard what they said, that you actually understand their situation. You're letting them know that you can help them in a neutral way. And all that means is you're not guaranteeing the sun and the moon. You're just letting them know, look, based off this, I know I can help. All right. You're not saying I guarantee with 100% certainty I can help you, blah, blah, blah. You're just letting them know, look, I can help you. Okay. And then from there, you're bringing back their problems and pain points to the surface in a neutral way, right? So you're saying, look, you know how you mentioned earlier, you're a little bit stressed because the business isn't really going the direction you want it to be, and you recognize it's because of the current solution that agency has been providing for you, right? Bringing their problems and pain points back, and it's kind of making it harder to sleep at night and spend time with your family. Well, my area of expertise is helping people like you who don't have control over the growth of their business to get control over it, leveraging AI. And by the way, it's the same system we use at the med spas we own and operate as a company that have allowed us to do X, Y, and Z over the past X years. Make sense? Okay, great. Now, I can break down this entire system that we've used at our own med spas A to Z, but you let me know, what direction do you want to go in from here? Get them to tell you where they want to go. Let them have the control, right? So that's all we're doing with the transition, is we're teeing ourselves up for success. We're letting them know that we heard what they said. We're giving them our credibility, and then we're asking them for permission on which direction they actually want to go in. Now, from here, the pitch. This is what we're pitching, and then this is the formula for how we're pitching it. Logical pain, emotional pain, deliverable or pillar, logical benefit, emotional benefit, and then tying down, making sure they understood what you said, that they actually heard you, and they're clear in their mind what you said. And then from there, we're asking, or we're actually tying in a consequence and saying, look, here's why this is so important. You know, one other thing I didn't mention is this is this, and this is why this is so important, because if you don't do this, X is going to happen. So the way this would look is, let's say, for example, I was doing this for the reviews, right? So what I would say here is, you know how you said earlier, you currently don't have a process to get reviews. And because of that, you don't have much social proof at all. You're not getting a ton of organic leads, and your business is not growing the way you want it to be, because now you recognize your competition has a better Google My Business page than you. So when people look up med spa near me, they see your competitors. And that's who they're probably going to, because they have way more positive reviews than you, and they're getting them all the time, where you currently don't, right? So what we're going to do is put a system in place where you're going to be able to generate reviews consistently without you having to lift a finger, because it's based on AI. Okay. And what that's going to do is generate a consistent flow of reviews from your happy customers. And then we're also going to follow up with those people to generate referral-based leads that you will be getting for free from your happiest customers, which, as I'm sure you know, people that come from referrals are always your best customers. And that's going to allow you to know that the money you're spending on marketing is actually going to be fully maximized, because now you're going to rank higher organically, and you're going to have way more social proof than you currently do. Does that make sense? What questions do you have on that? Right? So I asked, makes sense? And then I asked, what questions do you have on that? Because if you just ask, do you have any questions? After you said, makes sense, they're going to say, no. You want to ask, what questions do you have? What questions do you have specifically on that I just went over? Because at that point, you're pretty much saying, tell me you have a question, right? You're pretty much assuming they have a question. So they're going to say something more than likely, which creates dialogue. And if you have dialogue, they're now understanding and wrapping their brain around what you just said a lot more than they would be otherwise. And the more that they can wrap their brain around what you said, the clearer they are on what you're selling it, which is very important. Now from here, this is the consequence of not having a pillar. So what I would say from here is, and the reason why this is so important is because, again, you've been spending money on marketing with that agency and you're not getting the results you want. It's because you don't have a process in place to get reviews consistently, which is leading to you being basically invisible on Google. And then when people do find you on Google, they're not opting in because they see that you don't have a ton of social proof. So that's why this is so important, because if you don't figure this out and address this, you're going to continue to have the same issues you've been having. Got it? Got it. Now from here, what you want to do is the close. This is the key question. It's just curious, but in terms of the process, how do you feel? Right? You want to make sure you understand where they're at before you pitch them on the price, so that you know they're sold before you pitch it. Because if you can get them sold before you pitch the price and eliminate all objections, handle everything, re-tie down everything, make sure they're actually sold before you even hit them with a price, they're going to be way more likely to actually convert, because you've already done it. You've already basically sold them. It's just come down to price, right? So from here, that's what you want to find out. And if they don't give you a certain answer, you want to do a temp check. All a temp check is just asking them, scale of 1 to 10, where would you say you fall? 1 being, I'm ready to get off the call. 10 being, I'm ready to sign up. Where would you say you're at? Right? And if someone says anything less than a 8, really anything less than a 9 or a 10, super, super confidently, at that point, you want to recalibrate and figure out why, right? Because there's some reason why they're not there. And at that point, you can ask simply, why aren't you a 1 or why aren't you a 10? And at that point, what they're going to tell you is a reason why they're not a 1, which could be the things they like. And if they're not a 10, they might just tell you exactly what the objection is. exactly what their issue is, right? And then from there, you can overcome it and then get the result on it and ask, where are you at now? Scale of 1 to 10, and get them to be there. From there, what you want to do is outline the next steps so that they know exactly what's going to happen before you pitch them on the price, so that they're absolutely crystal clear on what it looks like, because a confused mind never buys. You need it to be very, very clear. So you want to let them know, first thing we'll do is make payment. We will then sign the agreement. We will then open the onboarding call where you'll be able to get quick win. Okay. Now, does that make sense? Do you understand that? Get clear that they understand it. Now from there, you want to go, the investment to take you from where you're at right now to where you want to get is X. And then you just want to shut up. You just don't want to say anything up to that. Okay. But this is the exact process that you want to use if you're serious about making money with AI. Okay. Now, like I said earlier, what I'm looking to do is help people take this system, get it set up, run it, and maximize it, build an agency that does $1 million plus in profit per year. Okay. If that's something you're interested in doing, feel free to apply to work with me. I'd love to speak with you and see if I think you'd be a good fit for my consulting program. If not, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you gained something from it, and I will see you all in the next one.